Mr. Big Boy says there, those are the numbers to call. And as you know, we're dealing with the could-be, the will-be lieutenant governor here. So statewide calls on this big fat signal of ours that goes all over the place. Absolutely acceptable, because we're kind of off the local here. Let me introduce you again. He's joined us many times in Fresno's Morning News in the morning as we knock that stuff out between 6 and 9 a.m. Abel Maldonado, who is the man who would be lieutenant governor if they can just ever get their act straight up in Sacramento. Abel, good to see you again.
Ray, how are you? Great to be here.
I'm doing all right. What brings you to town?
Just had some interviews to do here early on today, meeting some folks, and obviously on my way to Sacramento trying to fix this $6 billion hole we have in this year's budget.
What is the problem with getting you confirmed? What's going on with all that?
Well, politics, Ray. And,
no, really?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it wouldn't be that bad, but...
Well, I mean, whether some people think it's great, some people don't. You've reached out to the Democrats, excuse me, before, and I would think that you'd be a very suitable candidate as far as they're concerned, or nominee.
Well, the problem is that we have some folks that believe that the lieutenant governor's office is a Democrat office. And I'm here to say that it's not. It's actually not a Republican office either. It's the people of California's office. And the question was that when there was a vacancy back in November, the governor has, under the Constitution of California, he has the authority and the duty to follow the Constitution and nominate somebody. He nominated me. And then after that, the legislature has 90 days to confirm. The fact of the matter, 90 days, Ray, is today, from the day. But obviously that's not going to happen. So there's one question that needs to be asked once there's a confirmation: is the man or the woman fit to serve? And that's the only question that you ask yourself, because you can get into politics and so forth. That's in June, and that's in November. That's when you have a June primary and you have a November election. You can do whatever you want at that time. But you know, I think there's been a precedent set here in the past. Bruce McPherson was nominated by Governor Schwarzenegger, confirmed by the legislature, no problem, went right through. 3 months ago, there was another confirmation, constitutional office. There was a vacancy. Governor Schwarzenegger nominated Jerome Horton. People voted for him, went right through. 5-minute confirmation hearing, like nothing. He's a constitutional office holder. He's in the Board of Equalization. No problem. Abel Maldonado comes up, and there's a problem. And I hope cooler minds will prevail. You know what's happened, Ray. The governor has renominated me. I don't want this process to go long. I want this process to be quick. I want 41 votes for or 41 votes against. Let's move on. And let's get to 12.4 unemployment rate. Let's get to water. Let's get to jobs. Let's get to fixing the budget. And that's where we're at.
So the prevailing theory with the opposition is because the prior lieutenant governor was a Democrat, therefore the next one should be.
Right. That's some folks have been saying that. Some folks have criticized my voting record. Some folks just don't like my party affiliation, and I'm there to tell them, you know what, you can take me out in November. You can take me out in June. That's your prerogative. Right now, let's go through the process and ask me if I'm fit to serve, if I'm qualified. If I'm not, then you know, tell the public I'm not fit to serve. But I'll tell you something, Ray. It was interesting to see this process. Now, once the governor has renominated me, I can tell you that I hope that cooler minds prevail. And I hope it happens, like I said, this week or next week.
Were you surprised when you got the call from him?
Actually, I was, because I'd always been on a short list. People talked about Abel Maldonado being on the short list, but didn't know what he was going to do. The governor, this was the governor's choice. This wasn't his staff's choice. This wasn't his choice of his best friends. This was his choice. And actually, I got the call after he nominated me. I hadn't said that too many times, Ray, but he called me about 4:05. In the afternoon. He just finished recording Jay Leno, and he says, "Abel, I just nominated you on the Jay Leno show."
That's right, I forgot about that.
And I'll tell you, it changed my life at that time. I was very grateful to him. He says, I need you to tell your mom and your dad to watch it. And I says, Governor, Jay Leno doesn't come on Univision. And he kind of, I won't tell you what he said to me, but you know what? I'm grateful to him. I wouldn't be sitting here today as a nominee, designee, whatever you want to call it, if it wasn't for him. We've got our work cut out. I just want this to move forward. We've got other things more important to deal with. I want to move on this issue.
If indeed I'm sure you will be ultimately confirmed. Do you plan on running for the office after that?
Yeah, that was the question that was asked to me right away, and I wasn't, I wasn't going to not be honest with people. I said, you know what, if I'm good enough to be nominated, I'm good enough to run for the office. So I'm going to be a candidate in June, I'll be a candidate in November. Obviously, I'll be a candidate in November. If I win in June, it's up to the people of California. So, yes, I'll be running for the office.
That's kind of a short, it's a very short term you're going to have.
It is. It's going to be 10 months, and if I win the primary and if I win the general, I'll have another 4 years, and if I don't make it past those 2 elections, then I'll be back on the ranch with my mom and my dad and the family, growing some row crops, being on the John Deere tractor. Not a bad gig, is it?